try, because no one will come right at us. So, hey sir, do you want to be this? Do you want to do that? Because you need to prove for the world that you can do it. And this takes me to my true moral of my story. So being as a volunteer, meeting a lot of people, building a lot of connections and involvements, I started to meet a lot of people, which just even expanded my knowledge and education more and more. I started to understand people. Honestly, I do accept any criticism as just like how I get so happy when I get complimented from people. Because we need to look at our bad and our good sides. Yes, I focus on my good and positive points so I could strengthen myself, but I still work on improving my weak points if I have any. The perspective that I talked about earlier regarding disability, I found it here as well in some ways. I did not find a lot of young blind students or disabled in general. They are outgoing that much. They are seeking to change their life for the better, of course. And I felt, no, this will not really what I'm looking for. I said, yeah, I'm going to start on my own. Hopefully the future is hiding some support or some sponsors or someone that will guide me towards the right track. And that's what I started to do. Besides increasing my volunteering hours, I started to give inspirational speeches, but I started to focus more basically on the morals and on the abilities of a disabled person. Not only for talking, that wasn't the purpose at all. Not only to be on a television or a newspaper or radio station, no. Because I wanted to change this fact. The fact that yes, you can graduate from university, yes, you might be able to get married, have children, open a house, but that's it. In my life, honestly guys, I want to achieve something way further than this. I want to be so much purposeful and meaningful for all the blind people in specific and disabled in general and for all over the world, because disabled people, it depends on their disability, but I focus more on the blind because I live it. It's my life. 20 years old, I don't even know what does it mean to see without any hardship, meaning, I mean, with today's technology, it is better, but still, very hard time. A little example, transportation, especially in Michigan, since we don't have that much public transportation, at least where I live in Dearborn. So it's very hard sometimes to get from point A to point B. That's why I started to build friendships. Of course, not to give me rides back and forth, but you know, I mean, you need to do something. And when I talk about something really outstanding, something that is truly will not be forgotten. People could say he was blind, he was an immigrant, he was not speaking English very well, and it wasn't for his benefit right away. It was for everybody else's benefits. I cannot stand it when I see mothers are crying from happiness when they see their child is able to email, is able to walk outside. Because I go visit houses, hospitals, centers for the children that are disabled and blind, and I go to schools and homes actually to teach and to as a mentor for parents who has a child who is disabled or has any kind of disorder that they are not accepting it. It is not fun to live with a disability though. Not at all. Who likes to be limited? A disability is like a limit. However, staying determined, dedicated, and thankful and faithful in our capabilities and abilities will definitely get us somewhere. And the best example I could give myself, again, it's not because of me, not at all, just to illustrate it, because I usually like to give proofs by doing something. I don't like to keep talking without any proofs, without any practical incidents. I started as a little volunteer. In a lot of places, I didn't even know the staff members. I didn't even know the clients that I'm going to be working with, whether they were teachers, seniors, whatever it is. I didn't even know the place a lot. I took that risk. And I did it so much until I built and I wilted my resume, and I started to get invited to give speeches. So in the past, I used to step in and try my best to be a part of an event or convention or conference. Thankfully, day by day, by proving my points, by spreading out to all the community clubs and organizations, they saw something real and honest in me. And the improve that I'm trying to seek is going to be so close, hopefully. When I let me just to sum up my speech, there are a few things that I learned, but I really hope other people could learn it too. Appreciation. When I meet my friends, I always tell them, guys, do you know how much God has given you? If we look at our life, we could really and so easily get through some points that are, as you say, they are so lucky. First of all, they are sighted, they have their brain, they are physically fine overall. The second more significant fact, that they are born in a country like the United States of America. This country that I've seen personally, and I've heard about it every time, millions of people waiting in the embassies from all over the world just to get a visa to come to the States, to study, to visit. I tell them, guys, appreciate what you got before you lose it. Once you lose it, you can't say, I wish if I did this and I wish if I did that. When I speak in front of youth clubs, and I would be like a kind of guidance, I tell them, guys, you have everything. You have all the opportunities. You have no limit. At least you got to take a scholarship through your sport and athletic activities. I was not able to do it just simply because I cannot perform any sports. If you guys are not good at academic, like education, in the classroom, you could take any athletic scholarship. I did not have that chance because of my disability. So I did not even have a chance to take a lot of classes I loved, like art, for instance, which is not really that challenging. So I used to take sometimes so busy classes that are not required, but because I cannot take other classes, I have to pay more time. So what I'm trying to say is, in a disabled person life, he or she must pay a lot of extra. And yes, sometimes money is included. Sometimes instead of, because no one is available to pick you up, for instance, or give somewhere, you have to get a taxi, for instance, or somewhere to give you a ride. So you should, at least, just to prove how nice you are, stuff like that, to pay him money, for instance, at least for gas. Time. In college, for instance, sometimes I have to wait longer after the class to see an instructor or to get something done. Because with the technology, it is way easier nowadays. I'm not saying not, but still not perfect. Not a lot of stuff are accessible. So when I take an online class, for instance, I have some hard time with a teacher, and it depends on who's I'm talking with. If a teacher who is really cooperative, nice, he feels, and of course I don't ask him to do my homework, I just ask him for some help and some just flexibility, because I am not the type of person who really loves to skip school or just to don't do the homework on time. All teachers in the high school and college right now, they know me very well. So the overall point of my life, living overseas, coming to the States, accomplishing some more, and looking for even more accomplishments, with you guys' help, with everybody's help, with staying determined, dedicated, truly, 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 nothing is out of reach and everything is possible. Finally, my hard work got me somewhere, thankfully. So sometimes it is of course nice to work hard, but it's really nicer to get something back. Beside all the compliments that I get, beside all the interviews that I make, beside all the smiles on the children's faces, the parents' faces, I would love to keep continuing teaching students. I do it in different ways. I can teach online, and I did it once. I taught a person overseas, and I think I may be doing something else to teach some other person overseas. I don't know yet when and how. I also visit schools, as I said, homes, retirement villages, to teach seniors that have some low vision issues due to age. And I always tell, with people's support, we can achieve everything. Every one of us needs help. This also one of the things I always try for people to understand and to get convinced by. Yes, you can see, you can walk, you can drive. I mean, yes, you are independent, but still at some point in your life, you need help. My overall point of the speech, everyone needs help. We should not get shy or embarrassed to ask for help, because if we do that, obviously we are not really catching the point. Maybe we are wasting a very valuable opportunity. So guys, remain thankful. I appreciate what you got. Stay determined, stay strong, and with disability or not, a successful person will be successful. With disability or not, our life could be way more shiny and will be truly a very prosperous future. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you for being here today.
Any questions? Just in case
Yeah, that's fine. Excuse me, maybe I jumped the gun.
No, it's okay. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Any questions? If you don't, that's fine, but just in case.
And were you always without sight, or did you lose it at an early age?
I was born with it. And my eye disorder is called retinitis pigmentosa, most likely. That's what doctors have found recently. And they said, that hopefully my stem cells stuff will be treated. And in the next 3 or 4 years, hopefully I'll be able to drive a car. Hopefully.
Khodr, we know that unemployment is highest among visually impaired of all disabled people. Obviously, with new technologies that are coming online, maybe that will help that situation to some degree. I mean, do you have hope that the blind community have greater success in the future?
Yes, that's why I said. That's why I said we need to go outside. No one will come right at us and tell us, "Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do that." You need to prove yourself. That's why there's always a point behind saying you need to prove yourself. Because when I was so outgoing, meeting a lot of people, not really getting scared of the outer world, as the high school used to drag us by this idea. You gotta go to the real world, So if you're not strong enough, if you're not proving your abilities, if you're not shy, and if you don't refuse help, because again, everyone needs help, people will recognize you, will recognize your effort. So I, of course, wish a greater success for the blind people, and I want to see way more young youth outside doing the same thing I do, going volunteering in 4 or 5 places, teaching, giving speeches, meetings, television, newspapers, radio stations. This will all reflect, because if we don't do that ourselves, no one will do it for us. If you don't prove your point, if you don't prove others wrong, no one will come and say, "Oh yeah, he's blind." And some people that are blind, I'm saying some, not all of them, they have other disorders or anxieties. So when you guys see someone who's unable to eat by himself, it's not because of his blindness. It's either because of how his family treated him, or it's either because he had a different difficulty.
Any other questions? Khodr, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much again.
You're such an inspiration. I'm gonna walk you up the chair.